So today we're going to be talking about Paul's letters and his missions and his significance for the church of today. So Paul's background. So before his conversion, Saul, as he was known, was anti-Christian. He persecuted Jews. He was born into a well-to-do Jewish family in Tarsus, a son of a Roman citizen where he was a Pharisee who was well-educated and believed strongly in following the strict Jewish laws. So Saul, as he was known before his conversion, on his way to Damascus, where he was surrounded by a very bright light, whom Jesus appeared personally in front of. Now Jesus prayed he was God's resurrected Messiah and the Son of God. It showed God's power to save anyone, regardless of their opposition of the gospel. And Jesus calling Saul and changing his name to Paul to take the gospel to the Gentiles throughout reaching the nations. He was chosen to take his good news to both Jews and Gentiles. Now this radical change in Saul after his encounter with Jesus is evident of his life completely turned around. Now Paul traveled more than 10,000 miles and established at least 14 churches. Now one of the most significant things that come from Paul's journeys was the massive number of Gentiles who came to faith as they shared their story back to Antioch. On his second journey, Paul took the gospel to regions along the northern states of the Mediterranean Sea. Now, new churches were built, and Christians also attended them. So Paul was able to conclude his third missionary journey with joy and with a testimony proclaiming the grace of God. So we can learn from Paul what it looks like to speak with conviction. See, Paul knew the Spirit of God dwelt in him. His power drove his preaching. Now, the primary impact he had left on Christianity after him and through his letters and missions to the churches, but in his own time, he's seen himself primarily as a prophet to the non-Jews, to bring them the message of the crucified Messiah. Now, Paul's writing formulated key teachings about the nature of the church. He taught about how church and Christ lived in them. So Paul's background and conversion, his experience providing God can save anyone. So we should not think someone is beyond the reach of God's saving power and grace, even if they adequately oppose the gospel. Now Paul was religious, yet mistaken and opposed to the truth. We must walk truthfully according to God's word, not just following his religious traditions that he made. So his quest in influential Christians ever. No matter our background, God can use a willing heart. Outsiders can help reach new people. And as a Jew well-educated in Greek thinking, Paul was able to bridge culture divide and communicate the gospel in a fresh way. Transformation should be evident of Paul's life, displayed a dramatic change after his conversion. So finally, the Apostle Paul left an incredible legacy for Christianity. His tireless evangelism, his experience everywhere, and his writings established the early church that greatly influenced his rapid explosion of growth. So he stood for the gospel of Jesus in spreading the gospel to other generations. My name is Travis. Thank you so much.